Fox News alert. Michael Cohen learns his fate. A federal judge sentencing President Trump's former personal lawyer to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to numerous charges, including lying to Congress and violating campaign finance law. Let's go to Rick Leventhal, who was inside the courtroom earlier. What you got, Rick?
And Jesse, it was packed with members of the media, also attorneys and federal agents, and 3 rows of Michael Cohen's family and friends who all listened intently as he spoke for almost 10 minutes before he was sentenced. Near the very beginning, he told the judge, "This may be hard to believe, but today is one of the most meaningful days of my life, the day I got my freedom back," because he says his blind loyalty to Donald Trump led him to choose a path of darkness over light, ignoring his own moral compass and spending several years in what he called mental incarceration. The hearing lasted just over an hour. It included Cohen's attorney asking for leniency, suggesting his client made a remarkable life decision to cooperate with the federal government, offering evidence against the most powerful person in the country, saying Cohen was a man of integrity and an honest businessman. But U.S. attorneys painted a different picture of a man fueled by greed and a lust for power, who deliberately and willfully stole millions and eroded faith in the electoral process, they say, trying to influence the outcome of the presidential election. Judge William Pauley said that somewhere along the way, Michael Cohen did lose his moral compass, and the magnitude and breadth of misconduct requires significant deterrence. That deterrence, as you mentioned, 36 months in federal prison, 3 years supervised parole, $1.39 million in restitution to the IRS, the forfeiture of a $500,000 loan, and about $100,000 in fines. Jesse, he can spend the holidays with his family. He will turn himself in on March 6th.
Rick, thank you very much. President Trump's ready to fight back as Democrats ramp up impeachment talk. Trump telling Reuters, quote, "It's hard to impeach somebody who hasn't done anything wrong and who's created the greatest economy in the history of our country. I'm not concerned. No, I think that the people would revolt if that happened." You know, I kind of agree with him, Greg, especially if the impeachment is on party lines and if it's something really thin, not major collusion or something like that.
You're telling me, Jesse, that you agree with Donald Trump? we need another breaking news. Take Rick Leventhal back here. But by the way, yes, I agree. Trump bears responsibility for employing Cohen. That's not against the law to employ a bad lawyer who then might have done something wrong. Cohen pleading guilty is not the same as Trump pleading guilty. That Cohen may have broken the law is not the same as Trump broke the law. The media is addicted completely to what ifs, not what is or what are's. And they're spending so much time on that they can't see the truth. I love this. Can I talk about Avenatti?
Yes.
Held a press conference condemning Cohen. Do we need to show it?
Let's show it.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen is neither a hero nor a patriot. Michael Cohen will report to federal prison exactly 1 year after we filed the case on behalf of Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen was sentenced today. Donald Trump is next.
Oh, he's the best. I would say the pot calling the kettle black, but that might be racist.
And he just lost his Ferrari.
Yes, he did. He lost his Ferrari. Yeah, turn it in.
All right. In a great piece in the Daily Signal by Hans von Spodkowski.
You know, we call him HVS.
HVS.
I got that once.
And it says, Trump's ex-lawyer didn't violate campaign finance laws, and neither did the president. It's a very methodical look at the Federal Election Commission, how they've ruled on cases like this before.
And he would know because he was an appointee to the Federal Election Commission.
You know a lot about HVS.
Yes, well, HVS, it took a lot to get him confirmed during the Bush administration. And in fact, I don't even know if we ever did, but he was an active, anyway, HVS, great guy.
HVS, great guy.
Knows what he's talking about.
Right, so you have the campaign finance violation, and that's going to be obviously argued. And President Trump saying people in the streets with pitchforks. Do you think he's sending a message right there to his supporters?
No, I do not. And I think anyone who ran, it was like what was it? Ran away with the spoon? What ran away with the spoon?
Oh, I know a few people that have.
Jumped over the moon.
And then something about the spoon. And they took it too far. I think that what he's saying is like his supporters, his base, the people who voted for him, who didn't vote for him because of Russia or for any other reason, that they are going to say, like, how could you do this? We voted for him. He's a legitimate president of the United States. We love what he's doing. How dare you say that? He's saying that he doesn't mean that they're going to revolt against the country and, like, pick up weapons and go after people. That's not what he meant. He just meant that there would be frustration, right? And big time. I also feel like on the campaign finance laws, it is murky. I've talked to 3 different lawyers today. Everyone has a different interpretation of it. That's why you have an FEC. But remember, Michael Cohen does not just go to jail for 3 years because of campaign finance violations.
Right.
He admitted guilt to all sorts of things in terms of his own decision,
Tax fraud,
his personal
evasion.
decision, his bad business dealings, and that's really why he's going to jail.
Exactly. All right. So, Juan, Donald Trump, as we've discussed a long time, he can get along with Democrats. I mean, he's not an ideological guy. Do the Democrats risk something if they go in right from January and say impeach, 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 and hold the line? Instead, rack up some bipartisan compromises with the president in the new Congress and the Senate, and maybe get some bills passed, and then they can run and say, listen, I got things done in Congress.
Well, in fact, that's what he said last night to Reuters. He said we can go down 2 paths here. One is constructive and one is more of this kind of investigation stuff. But before we do that, let me just quickly say that, in fact, Bill Clinton had a better economy than Donald Trump, and he was impeached. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think...
But he was also, his approval rating also went up.
That's right. So I'm just saying, I mean, but it's not a case that because
Wait till the Trump economy really kicks into high gear.
And
he was impeached in the second term. We're not there yet.
Oh, I see. You're looking forward now.
Yes, always looking forward.
There could be 2 impeachments.
Impeach him twice.
One per term.
Hey, wait a second. This is the 5. We got to go the other way. And the second thing to say is you guys try to separate Cohen from Trump.
Yes.
But wait, I believe the prosecutors say individual 1, who we believe to be President Trump, directed Mr. Cohen. Remember, the argument from the president was there was no payment to Stormy Daniels. No, we weren't paying anybody. And then the second thing he said...
There's still no crime.
Wait, you won't even let me finish. But the second thing he did was then he blames Cohen, right? He says, and then he says...
Bad lawyer.
Oh, bad, that's right.
That's
he says bad lawyer. That's
lawyer.
exactly what he said. So, and then he's, all of this kind of denial and lies by the president, you can't ignore. It's just the president is the one who's involved here. Oh, now you changed on me.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, this is why the American we should do a whole hour on this.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do a whole hour, no breaks. This is why people like going, who cares?
Let me finish this point. Do you know what Mueller's prosecutor said today in court?
What?
Cohen was helpful to them by providing information about Trump's contact with Russia.
What if
That's
is
not
not what
news
is
for the president.
What if is not what is.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, so what you saw with Cohen and both America's news media, they pled to this. They had a plea deal. So this wasn't litigated in a court. And so I think that if this does go before the Congress, this isn't settled law. This hasn't been tested in an adversarial court. And I think, as Dana said, the president can make a clear argument here that I was doing something to protect my family. I similarly talked to several lawyers today and everyone had a different response on this. So it comes down to the politics. What do the 20, 30 Republican senators in the Senate think if the House impeaches? And do they want to remove a president for what is a campaign violation or making a payment to protect his family?